America. From Channel 00 Chico, the Breakroom begins its nightly broadcast. You know, Marty's the same exact guy at home that he is on the channel. He sits in a chair and every 2 weeks he spouts off.
Wishing and hoping and thinking and praying, planning and dreaming each night of his charms.
Hello, welcome to the program. I'm your host Marty, and you're in the break room. On this episode, we'll be looking at a young lady from Orange, New Jersey, who sang gospel as a young child, and by the time she got 60s, she had an incredible career. On this episode, we're going to take a look at 8 of her top 100 hits in the 60s. That's kind of hard to say. And first of all, we'll take a look at 2 of the songs that she did that, well, one of them actually was a top 10 hit, but 2 songs that she did that were part of movies. So let's take a look at the incredible Dionne Warwick.
Is it just for the moment we live? What's it all about when you sort it out, Alfie? Are we meant to take more than we give? Or are we meant to be kind and fools are kind? Alfie, then I guess it is why. Gotta get off, gonna get, had to get off from this ride. Gotta get hold, gonna get, need to get hold of my pride. When did I get, where did I, how was I caught in this game?
So sit back, relax, fire up a Collatini, and watch the pictures as they fly through the air. We'll be right back.
The last election was really divisive. My daughter's landlord discovered she voted for the other guy and raised her rent. I'm her landlord.
You will be.
Welcome back to the program. As I said, we'll be looking at the career of Dionne Warwick today. Now, Dionne Warwick, or Marie Dionne Warwick, not Warwick, but Warwick, was born in 1940. She grew up in New Jersey. She was the eldest of her family, her brothers and sisters. Her parents were Mansell and I think Lee. And a very religious family. They were Baptists. In fact, Dionne's grandfather was a minister. And her mom, Lee, and her mom's brothers and sisters were singers. They were incredible gospel singers. In fact, they had a group called the Drinkard Singers. And this wasn't just a regular group. This group was the first gospel group to ever be signed by a major label. And again, they play all over the place. They're really good.
Yeah, you know the world is hungry for living bread. Lift Savior on up for them to see. You know that's why if I be lifted up from the earth, I draw on me a tree. Oh, let's lift him up.
And so when she gets to be about 14, she's in school and she's doing pretty well, Dionne is. She's part of the Glee Club. But at 14, she wants to start singing on her own, and she creates a gospel group with 4 other girls at 14, one of them being her sister Delia. And the name of this group is the Gospel Heirs. And they're primarily singing at churches. They do a lot of places where the Drinkard singers play, because they're kind of like the opening group when the Drinkard singers play. And in fact, the way her career starts is she's at a show at the Apollo Theater with the Drinkard singers, and a guy comes rushing backstage saying, I need a group. I need a ladies, female group to be singing background. I got a recording I got to do. He asks the Drinkard singers, can you please come down and record with me? And they go, we can't. We're booked up. And then Dionne says, I got a group. So sure enough, the gospel airs get picked up, and they start singing. They start working. Even though she's going to school, the story is that her and the girls would have to take a train to New York and then I guess a taxi ride to the studio and do their singing and do the same thing back home and then be in time to do their homework. So they were working young ladies, that doesn't sound right, when they were in their teenage years. By the time she graduates, she realizes that even though she likes doing that, she's got to start kind of thinking about the future. She gets a scholarship in 1959 to a college, and she can't do both. She can't sing and also try to find time for studies. So she quits the gospel airs and let kind of Delia be in charge of that. And but she still does like singing every now and then. I mean, she loves doing it. In fact, at one of these recording sessions, she's there with her aunt, Sissy Houston, who of course is Whitney Houston's mom, and it's Dionne's mom's sister. By this time, she's going by Dionne. She's kind of dropped the Marie Dionne, and she's doing background stuff and with other people. And at one session, when Sissy is playing, she sings also. And one of the guys at the session is a producer by the name of Burt Bacharach, and Burt just thinks she's fantastic. So after the session's over, he kind of pulls her aside and says, look, me and my partner Hal David, we record songs, we do demos, and if you want to work for us, you can record these demos for us. You got a great voice, and we'll pay you $12 a session or something, which is a lot of money back then. So that's what she does. She starts doing demos with Burt, and it's going pretty well. In fact, Burt takes these songs and tries to shop them around, find some other big star to record these songs him and Hal David are doing. And he takes one into the owner of, I think it's Scepter Records. And this owner listens to the song and says, I don't like the song, but who's singing? And Burt says, well, her name's Dionne. And the owner says, that's who you should be working on, and she's great. So Burt realizes it. And him and Hal sign Dionne Warwick, not Warwick, Warwick, to a contract. And because Burt's always kind of has a distribution deal with Scepter Records, it works out pretty well. So now they got to find a song that's going to work for Dionne and start her career. And they keep going through song after song, and nothing's really hitting. In fact, Dionne gets frustrated one time at a recording session, and Burt and Hal are telling her, well, sing it like this and sing it like that. And finally Dionne says, look it, I sing the way I sing. Don't make me over. And that was the title of her first hit,
Don't make me over. How that I can't make it without you. Don't make me over. I wouldn't change one thing about you. Just take me inside your arms and hold me tight and always be by my side. If I am wrong or right.
The song is kind of a big breakout for her. She does really well with it, considering it's her first song. But what happens is, on the single that is put out, her last name is misspelled. It's not spelled Warwick like it should be. It's spelled Warwick. Warwick. Yes. And she kind of realizes, screw it. So she takes that name professionally and personally, and her first album comes out with that name on there, and the album doesn't do very well. Soon after that, a young girl that she knows from the gospel airs. She was one of the original gospel airs with Dionne and her sister Delia. Her name is Doris Troy, and she has a hit with the song Just Warwick, has her first top 10 hit.
Would take me in his arms and love me too.
after that song, she's asked by Bert to quit college. I mean, she's been going for 3 years, but Dionne quits college, and she kind of starts touring and being on shows. In fact, here's a picture of her appearing and touring with some very hip personalities and performers in 1964. In 1964, a young lady from England does a version of her last hit, Anyone Who Had a Heart, and this young lady is named Cilla Black. Let's listen to her.
Anyone who ever loved could look at me and know that I love you. Anyone who ever dreamed could look at me and know I dream of you. Knowing I love you so.
By May of '64, Dionne has another hit, which is Walk On By.
If you see me walking down the street and I start to cry, each guy with me, walk on by, walk on by. Let me believe that you don't see the need, just let me breathe in private class each time I see you. I bring down and cry, walk on by, and don't you dare stop, little walk on by, and don't stop, walk on by. I just can't get over loving you, and so is my feet, broken and blue, baby, walk on by.
She gets to England around May, I think, of '64, and she gets to meet Cilla Black. And you have to realize, Dionne doesn't like Cilla Black, or she doesn't like what happened to her. She had a hit with this song in America, but the folks over in England didn't want her version to kind of make it over there, so they had Cilla, a local young lady, do her version of it. And if you heard the song, I mean, it's uncanny. Cilla doesn't really do her own version of it. She almost hits it note by note, and her cadence and the way she sings is almost exact. In fact, this is what pisses off Dionne. It's like, hey, if you're going to do my song, do it your own way. So she finally meets Cilla Black, and the joke is she says that if she were to accidentally sneeze on a song, Cilla Black would sneeze on the same song. In 1966, she marries a young man that she's been dating for a while by the name of William Elliott. Now, William is a jazz drummer, a performer, and he's also kind of a trying to break in as an actor. She meets him years before when he was in a band and she was like a background singer, but she's always liked him. So they get married in '66, which is great. The marriage lasts for about 3 days when Dionne realizes that this ain't gonna work. So she leaves him and she, takes off. In 1967, the marriage is over, and then it's divorce, and then of course in '67 she marries him again. They say married till 75, but just that whole thing kind of was like, what's going on? In '66 she has her next hit, Message to Michael.
Spread your wings for New Orleans, Kentucky bluebird, fly away and take a message to Michael, message to Michael. He sings each night in some cafe in his search to find wealth and fame. I hear Michael has gone and changed his name. It's a year since
since he was here. Kentucky bluebird, fly away and take a message to Michael, message to Michael. Tell him I miss him more each day as his train pulled out down.
1967, she's told that she sings too white. You have to realize during the time, people that of different ethnicities were supposed to be singing more authentic, more cultural based, and they feel Dionne doing Burt Bacharach and Hal David songs is too white. Yeah. And then also 1967, she wins her first Grammy for this song.
The moment I wake up, before I put on my makeup, I say a little prayer for you. While combing my hair now and wondering what dress to wear now, I say a little prayer for you. Forever, forever, you stay in my heart, and I will love you forever and ever. We never will part. Oh, how I'll love you together, together. That's how it must be to live without you. But don't let me heartbreak for me. I run for the bus, dear. While riding, I think of us, dear. I say a little prayer for you. At work, I just take time, and all through my coffee break time, I say a little prayer for you. Forever, forever, you stay in my heart, and I will love you forever.
1968 brings in another top 10 hit and a song that she just thought was silly. She just didn't ever like it. She talked about it professionally and personally and out there that she didn't like this song, but it does really well with her, and it's one of her big songs. Do You Know the Way to San Jose?
San Jose, I've been away so long, I've made so wrong and lose my way. Do you know the way to San Jose? I'm going back to find some peace of mind in San Jose. LA is a great big freeway, could I get down and buy a car? In a week, maybe two, they'll make you a star. 32 years, how quick they pass, and all the stars that never pass are parking cars and pumping gas. You can really breathe in San Jose. They've got a lot of space. They'll see a place where I can say I was born and raised in San Jose. I'm going back to find some peace of mind in San Jose. Billy Button is a magnet. It can pull you far away from home. With a dream in your heart, you never run. Dream set it up to blow away. And there you are, without a friend. You pack your car and ride away. I've got lots of friends in San Jose.
She has another hit called This Girl's in Love with You, which is a good song, made her top 10, but I don't like it as much as the Herb Alpert version, which is This Guy's in Love with You. That was my call, sorry. She also wins her second Grammy for I'll Never Fall in Love Again. And here's her doing that song with, the only version I could find of it during that time, with Glenn Campbell on a special she had called Soulful or something. I'm probably wrong on that, but here they are, Glenn Campbell and Dionne Warwick.
What do you get when you fall in love? A guy with a Pinterest trouble, and that's what you get for all your trouble. Never fall in love again. No, no, never fall in love again.
Can I sing one?
Sure.
What do you get when you kiss a girl? You get enough germs to catch pneumonia. After you do, she'll never phone you out. Never fall in love again. No, no, never fall in love again.
Now don't tell me what it's all about, 'cause I've been there and I'm glad I'm out of those chains that bind you, and that is why I'm here to remind you, what do you get when you fall in love? You only get lies and pain and sorrow.
That song is their last top 10 hit in the 1960s. In the 1970s, things radically change, obviously in the music business too. Her sales aren't going very well, so she starts hanging around with a lady who is into astrology. She's been into astrology for a while, but now she has a real good friend of hers who does a reading or something and tells Dionne needs to add the letter E to the back end of her name, and that will give her, I guess, energy or excitement, I don't know, and sell more records. But it doesn't, and Dionne eventually drops the E from her name. She eventually leaves Scepter Records, and also at the same time, Hal David and Burt Bacharach have a falling out, so they're not talking to each other. Dionne is also having problems with Burt. She wants him to be more involved in her career by not only writing songs with her or producing for her. He's doing soundtracks and stuff, so it gets pretty bad. She actually has to sue Hal David and Burt Bacharach, and of course they don't speak for years because of this. Now here's a photo I want to throw in here. It's not really that important, but I found it, I thought it was interesting. It's a picture of Tom Jones' birthday party in Vegas in 1974, and there's all kinds of people in this photo. I'm not going to say who they are, but those of you who are a little bit of a certain age might be able to guess some of these people in this photo. Let's take a look at that real quick. Dionne's career continues. She has 4 more top 10 hits in her career. That's What Friends Are For. She had a top 10 hit with the Spinners. I can't remember that one. A couple more. But again, she is still performing. She had a tour recently. In 2024, in fact, she got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She got awarded the Musical Excellence Award. So Dionne Warwick is a rocker too. Dionne Warwick went from gospel to pop to soul. Along with the other female artists of the 60s, she was immensely popular and successful. Her blending of pop and R&B brought her 12 top 10 hits, 56 charting songs, and she sold over 80 million records, and she also won 5 Grammys. The incredible Dionne Warwick. And before we go, I just want to say, you cry and moan and say at a workout, but honey child, I've got my doubts. You can't see the forest for the trees. We'll see you next time on the Breakroom, and hopefully we'll see you before Christmas. Everything goes the way I hope it will. I'll be doing a show on the 24th, Christmas Eve, so hopefully you'll be looking forward to that. Take care. We'll see you next time in the Breakroom.
You know, Marty says the only time he touches another woman besides his wife is when they pass him a joint.
Well, you're just